Now, Yale's possible sale is pretty significant because the endowment's former CIO, David Swensen, was a pioneer in allocating capital to private assets. So give us a sense of the scale we're talking about here if Yale were to unload about $6 billion of its PE stakes.
If they go ahead with the full $6 billion, it's a big chunk of their overall assets, which at the middle of 2024 were just over $41 billion. Swensen, as you say, was a pioneer in allocations to illiquid assets, including private equity. The university hasn't disclosed recently what the allocation is, but when they last did it in 2020, 55% was the target allocation to illiquid, within which buyouts and private equity would be a big chunk. So if they sell the full $6 billion, it could be 15% of the overall fund. It's big.
Okay, it's big. How disruptive would selling about $6 billion of private equity be, particularly in the secondary market? What does it mean for that market?
The secondary market has been growing for some years in any event. Evercore, which is the bank that has been contracted by Yale to oversee the sale, reckon there is about $216 billion of dry powder out there waiting to allocate to private equity in the secondary market. However, they also say that last year, only about $9 billion came out of all the endowments put together. So if Yale's going to do 6, Harvard's going to do 1, that's already a big chunk of the total which came to market in 2024.
Okay, so if there's going to be this potential supply coming to market, how much of a discount would a Harvard or Yale need to offer in order to move the assets?
Look, it's a function of supply and demand, right? So last year, when there was maybe a little bit more demand than there was supply, we were looking at discounts in the range of 10% plus or minus on buyouts. Discounts were larger for stakes in venture capital. So I guess going into this sale, and Yale actually were flagging the sale from 2023. Going into this sale, they probably anticipated a discount somewhere in that order of magnitude, 10%. But if supply ratchets up, and actually it's not just the endowments, there was a news story today on Bloomberg that the Chinese Sovereign Wealth Fund, CIC, is also looking to place $1 billion, then that will change the pricing dynamic.